Ben Shirley.
Okay. My story is also a college story. I went to UNCA as a freshman in 1995, and I moved into the dorm, and these dorm rooms had like 4 people to a suite and 2 bedrooms, so you shared with one person. But I got into a room that we were like at the end of the hall, and it was just me and another guy, so that seemed pretty cool. And he was also a freshman, and I remember when our parents were both there helping us move in, my mom said something like embarrassing and you know, kind of wholesome, like, well, I hope you don't party too much, you know. And I remember his mom, you know, nodding, yes, yes, you know. But it turned out this guy, he wasn't partying, and I was not so much. So pretty quickly they consolidated rooms, so we got moved in with 2 other guys. So these guys were like upperclassmen, and they were in a fraternity. And so my freshman roommate, like, he pledged right away, you know. And I was like, yeah, it's not going so well. And, they were pretty crazy roommates. I had something that I didn't tell my mom, I guess. When I filled out the dorm room preference survey, I think I had put that I didn't smoke, but I didn't mind sharing a room with a smoker. I think I had some thought that it would just, I would meet cooler people out there. Maybe it was a mistake. So all these guys smoked, and I really didn't drink even at that point. I was kind of slow to pick up drinking even. So I was kind of stuck in this room, and they were really messy. The ashtrays would fill up with cigarette butts, and then they would get knocked on the floor, and nobody would clean it up, and it would just get ground into the carpet. I had a beanbag cushion that, like, I just brought. It seemed like a cool college thing. But it got, like, ripped open at some point, and the little foam balls were everywhere. They were, you know, static cling to your clothes, and they were like all up and down the dorm hallway pretty soon. I had also like paid to rent the micro fridge that was like an option for the dorm rooms, and I think I was keeping like milk for cereal in there or something. And I came back one day, and my milk had been taken out and put on top of the refrigerator, and the refrigerator was packed with the case of beer that they got, and I was kind of mad, you know. And I decided my protest would be to just leave the milk up there and just let it rot and see what they thought of that. You know, of course, I don't think they noticed, you know. And somewhere along the way, the 2 older guys, they lost their keys to the room, and so they were just not locking the door. And like, I would come back from class and the door would be open, and I started getting kind of upset about it. I had like a computer in my room, and you know, what if my computer got stolen? You know, how would they feel if their like TV got stolen? And I thought, yeah, you know, maybe I'll like play a little prank on them. So they had like a pretty big TV. It was like a 27-inch maybe TV, and I decided I would just take it and like hide it somewhere in the room, you know, so that they would get the initial shock of like, oh my God, somebody stole a TV. Why didn't we lock the door? You know, and then they would see it, and it would be okay, and you know, maybe we'd bond over it. You know? Like, these guys were into pranks. I remember one point, one of them like had gone to the cafeteria, and this is a really good trick if anybody is looking for one. You can take a brownie and sort of roll it up like a Play-Doh snake, and it really like, yeah, it really like resembles human excrement, pretty realistically. And so I think one of them left it on the pillow of another roommate, and he came home drunk and, you know, stumbling and trying to get into bed in the dark, and found it and was freaking out. And then the guy walked in and said, "That's not so bad," and picked it up and took a bite out of it, and it was even worse. So it wasn't all bad living with those guys. So anyway, I took this TV and I decided, okay, let's see, where can I hide this? It's pretty big. We had bunk beds in the rooms. So I put it on the bottom bunk of the other two guys' room, and you know, it was kind of shadowy. I just threw the blanket over it. It was like a big, you know, TV, like on the bed. I thought, oh, they'll see it like pretty soon. So then, like, to make the joke, you know, complete the prank, I just left. I left the door wide open, and I went like to the cafeteria to eat dinner. And I sat down with some friends, and I was telling them about this prank I had played, and they were laughing and thought it was hilarious. And they like got up and left, and I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't go back to the room too soon. You know, they might not be back yet. I didn't want to get back before them. So I like went to the library, and I waited a while and came back, and they had come back, and they were like, "Ben, somebody broke into our room and stole the TV." You know, I don't know how leaving the door open is like breaking into. And I was like, "Really? Oh." Man, is my computer still there? You know, they're like, oh, yeah, it is. Like, yeah, we're sorry we haven't been locking the door, you know. It's like, oh, good, this prank, you know, it might do the trick, you know. Like, we're going to get, you know, new keys. We'll pay the fee to get the keys or whatever. And then they're like, well, we called campus security. I was like, oh, well, like, did you, like, look around for the TV? You know? Trying to get so, that's helpful. They were like, yeah, it's gone, man. Somebody took it. And I kind of poked. I started thinking, like, could somebody have really taken it? Like, maybe somebody else took it after I moved it. And I looked in, and it was still there, sitting there. I could see it from the door, you know. They just didn't see it. Here's a literary reference. You may have heard the Post story about the Purloined letter. I can't remember how it goes exactly, but there's this really important letter that gets hidden in somebody's study, and they just put it out in plain sight with like some junk mail or something. And these guys come in and search for it, and they look in every single possible hiding place that they can think of, and they just didn't think to look like right on the desk. So I think that might have been the psychology that was going on here, although it was like not intended. And at this point, like, the guys, I thought about telling them, because, like, the campus security is coming, and they were also getting kind of mad about it, you know, they were like, man, maybe it's those guys in that other fraternity. They were like, I thought I was maybe going to start, like, a fraternity war or something. And they were like, we're going to kill whoever did this. Yeah, maybe they're not going to laugh about it, you know. So then, like, the campus security officer shows up, and unbeknownst to me, my friends who I had talked to at the cafeteria had come back into the dorm past the resident director's desk, and they were still laughing about my great prank, I guess, and they told him about it. And so he told the campus security officer about it when he walked in. And, you know, it's unclear how much information was transferred in those conversations. But this officer showed up, and he was acting funny, you know. He said, he was acting like they were wasting his time. They're like, no, our TV got stolen. He's like, well, I mean, if you guys are just wasting my time, you know, like, I'm going to be upset, you know. And they're like, no, you know, and they were getting, like, crazy about it, and he alluded to like having some inside information about it, and I started getting like kind of paranoid. You know, I was like, what is he talking about? How could he know? And he mentioned something about like it maybe still being in the room. I was like, oh no! And then I started thinking, I could get arrested for this. I stole a TV basically, and like. You know, and the cop, like, he did look around, but he did not see that TV sitting on the bottom bunk of this bunk bed with the blanket thrown over it. I was just couldn't believe it. What was going on? And by this point, I had sort of, like, gone back into my room and, like, was hiding on my computer, you know. And he came back and talked to me, and he totally bought my story, you know. I just lied and said, I don't know anything about it, you know. And I think to him, I think I looked like just a good kid, probably. He bought it. And eventually he said, well, okay, I'll file the report, and left. And at that point, I didn't really I knew they would find it when they went to bed, but I didn't really want to be around for that, So I think I left. I probably went back to the library, and later I heard that they had found it, and I had never divulged anything about what I had done. And they never suspected me, They all thought like I was just like this dorky good kid or whatever. And they did, after a couple days, they went and got keys for the room, so that worked. And at the end of the semester, I requested to get moved to a non-smoking room.